Hello, my name is Joe Atkinson. I'm the Communications Director for Mayor Terry. And as promised, we have answers here from the Ask the Mayor segment last week. You'll see over the course of the next couple of days, some of the answers will actually show up in the chat, in the conversation. But the mayor herself is here to answer several of the other questions. So we're going to break this up into a few different topics and be posting them throughout the week. If we get to the end of the week and you haven't seen your question answered, feel free to send us a message. But otherwise, here we go. Mayor Terry, thank you for being here, and thank you for doing this segment of Ask the Mayor. This is probably the longest one we've ever done.
It is. Thank you, Joe. I'm looking forward to diving into some of these questions.
All right, and I'll tell you what, we will start with a topic that several people asked about, and again, we've consolidated a lot of these questions. Some of them we're going to actually answer in the chat, in the comments down on the original post. But a major topic of concern and a lot of questions came about road construction. And the first one, sort of a compound question, so I'm going to break it up into a couple pieces. Why are you allowing for multiple construction companies to take advantage of our city by starting multiple projects and never finishing them? Why are all of these projects also not on the sinkhole? I assume they mean why are the contractors not on the sinkhole? Probably. Are we just going to let all of downtown sink into the hole and build on top?
No, we're not.
Okay, got that part knocked out.
And I think we also recognize that it's not as simple as you think. While I wish every contractor in the city could be on Riverside working on the sinkhole, that's just not how it happens. But what I can tell you is that some of this work is needed because we need to progress. Some are unexpected, like the sinkhole, that come up, and we try to do as much as we can to get it done as quickly as possible. What we recognize is that, number one, we've got to do a better job communicating when these type of projects are taking place for those that are going to be directly impacted around that particular area. And so we will do that. I think the other thing is signage around these areas, making sure that there's visible signage, colorful, vibrant signage that is still welcoming to say, hey, business is open in this direction, in this area, even though there's construction going on. And I think the other thing in terms of making sure that we kind of get ahead as much as possible is better coordination. And I've heard that on a number of occasions, why are you all not talking? Why is everything happening at the same time? But the reality is there's only so many things that we can control as a city. The city-led projects, yes, absolutely. We can do a better job coordinating those. And we're trying to do our best to do that. So that's water and sewer department, that's the city engineer, any street projects, and then street maintenance, which is also known as public works. And so we can come together, and we're doing that to talk about, again, how do we time out and plan projects accordingly. Now, for those unexpected things, it's very challenging to do that. For other entities like NDOT or Centerpoint or even, private companies that are coming in, like for fiber, we really can't necessarily manage or coordinate as effectively with some of the outside companies that are coming in. But for those that we can, we do our best to do that. For example, with NDOT, we're meeting probably quarterly. They've got projects planned from now until 2030 and beyond, and we do our best to really adjust our timeline according to what those state projects are. And as an example of that, the Walnut Street corridor has been under construction for some time, and we're probably 30 days shy of completing that project. But our prime contractor is a sub on the state projects, and so ours is of lower priority. And so that delays what we're able to get finished. And so we're continuing to have conversations with, some of our state partners and other contractors as we can to make adjustments so that, again, we don't continue to cause the inconvenience and get projects completed as quickly as possible.
I think you sort of answered a couple of the next questions, or at least pieces of them. One was, why does it take forever for construction to be done? And I think you just addressed that to some extent. And you touched on this, but I want to hit it just a little bit. What are the plans for the city to assist local business owners that are being affected by road construction, sinkholes, failing water, sewer infrastructure, et cetera? They list several businesses and say they're losing money daily. What can we do to sort of help those businesses? Yeah,
I mean, it's a tough thing. I have to say honestly, the city's not in a position, it doesn't have any type of relief funding for small businesses in circumstances like this. But as a city, we can do a better job with communicating. timelines on when projects will start and when they will end, if there are problems that come up and how to make those adjustments. We're actually going to have a meeting downtown next week around the Fifth and Main project to talk about where we are, what's the timeline for Sycamore opening up. So that will be what we consider kind of a great new step that we can do in communicating to those businesses and residents down on Main Street. I think signage, again, is another opportunity for us when there's, going to be long-term construction sites, is for us to make sure that we have inviting signage that's bold and large enough for folks and pedestrians and vehicles to really notice that businesses are still open in a particular area. And so we will talk and think about that as we move forward and how we can do a better job there. But more than anything, we want to do a better job encouraging folks to support local. I do it almost every single day, support local in some way, whether that's getting a cup of coffee, lunch, and as early as this morning, having a plumber at my house. And so, and I'll continue to do that. And I'll do a better job even personally sharing every opportunity that I can when I'm at, supporting local. And, and I just encourage others to join me in doing that. I think the more we do that, the more we help out our small businesses in our community.
Last question on this particular topic.
Sure.
Is about the wheel tax. And the question is, why are we seeing a wheel tax proposed right now?
Yeah, so earlier this legislative session, the state legislature passed House Bill 1461 this year. And in that, there was a change in how they calculate funding for local road and street projects. For a very long time, we've been in a position to apply for state funding through a community crossings matching grant program. The maximum amount has been $1.5 million. With this new legislation, it now caps that grant opportunity at $1 million. So the pool is smaller for us and it'll be more competitive for us to garner that money in 2026. And then on top of it, the next year after that, they are moving and shifting to a lane mile distribution. And in that calculation, or new calculation of pot of money that they've set aside, they've said, and I say the state and also the governor says they want to see cities put skin in the game. And so they are requiring that cities have a wheel tax in order to qualify for lane mile distribution funding. And so cities all over the state, there are many cities that already have a municipal wheel tax. And there are a number of others that are now, taking this before city council to consider because they want to be sure that we are well positioned to garner as much of the state dollars that we're sending up to the state. We want to claw back as much as we possibly can, and this is the only way for us to do that. Initially, based on the current ordinance as it is written that will be presented to the city council, we're talking about $25 per vehicle. That's roughly about $2 a month that individuals would have to pay for this new additional wheel tax. And it could garner enough, close to $2.7 million for us as a city. And that's significant because we already know that infrastructure has been underinvested in our community. We hear about it. Roads are deteriorating. They're not smooth. Folks are continuously, expressing their concerns with our roads. And this is one way for us to address that. While we won't get to every single road in Evansville, because there's no way for us to feasibly do that, we are going to be able to do a little bit more and really get into areas that we traditionally wouldn't have been without this wheel tax. So that's why it's been proposed now, because, again, the state is requiring and shifting some of that responsibility down to the local level, and we're taking that step.